Hello, my name is Alina Tarasenko. I'm an artist and the director of the St. Petersburg Airbrushing Training Center, Arttechnika. The quality of our education is based on the professionalism of the staff, which monitor the consistent implementation of the curriculum according to the simple to complex principle. No matter how awesome the students' designs look by the time they complete the training, everything begins with simple, elementary, basic exercises. The systematic and conscientious implementation will allow them to control the instrument instead of just adapting to it, which is what usually happens. In order to understand how well you will be able to control the airbrush, you need to complete a few simple tasks, which are very simple to draw with a pencil, but when talking about the airbrush, it may seem impossible for many people. We just need to draw two parallel 5 cm lines, horizontal and vertical, some sort of curve, and then retrace the line. And, for example, write your name. If these tasks with an airbrush are very hard for you, you find your hands are shaking and you have to hold your breath, then it's time to think about improving your technique. To help you feel more comfortable airbrushing, I will show you a basic technique with which we begin our training. But before proceeding to the demonstration, it's necessary to mention several important aspects. Firstly, we work only with airbrushes of dual purpose, dual independent action. Secondly, how we hold the airbrush is important. So, the thumb is more parallel to the tool's axis, making sure that it is not parallel to the axis of the air hose. The index finger on the trigger forms a pyramid which bends inward. In any case, it's important not to let the index finger bend out because the finger must slide with the trigger, not pull it. The position with the finger on the trigger is logical and corresponds to the anatomical structure at the end of the finger and to the concentration of the nerve endings on the tip of the finger. This position offers significant benefits, allowing the artist more control of the paint flow and an opportunity to speed up the work with the airbrush. It's necessary to develop a good habit from the start when we work with dual-purpose airbrush. At first, we open the air by pressing the trigger down, and only after that do we open the flow of paint by pulling the trigger and returning it to its basic position to close the flow of paint. Then release the trigger and stop the air supply. Repeat the same principle to draw a precise line. Open the air, gently pull the trigger, gradually increase the flow of paint, briefly fix the position of the trigger, keeping the line thickness, and slowly reduce the paint flow of the line, fading it out until there is no line. That's all. Close the air, and once more, open the air, pull the trigger, fix it, return it back, and close the air. If you don't develop this habit, you will get lots of blots at the start of lines. Are you paying attention to speed? Many people draw an electrocardiogram on such slow speed. This happens mainly because they are not accustomed to working with their hands in the air without support and stabilizing the work with untrained muscles. With practice, this discomfort will pass, the muscles will get used to it, and the arm will stop shaking. The lines will be smoother and smoother each time. Right away, you need to make yourself work at a slow speed, especially if your lines turned out jagged. Train your trembling hands and suppress the temptation to draw at a faster speed until drawing more straight lines will be easier. But it's not a sure thing that they will be drawn exactly where you want them to be. And remember, drawing a precise curved line at a faster speed would simply be luck, but we need stable control when using the airbrush. You can begin to speed up only when you learn how to control the tool. When you're comfortable with this exercise, we will start to complicate the task by creating more conditions. First, let's limit the length of the line. Here, the line should start. Here, it should end. The line shouldn't be too short because the brain and hands will not synchronize due to lack of skill. The brain simply will not be able to perceive and tell the hands what to do. Too long is also not suitable because all beginners usually hold their breath while drawing the line. Let's limit ourselves to about 10 centimeters so your brain has time to analyze what it's doing and so you don't suffocate. Next, we'll divide this distance into 3 equal parts. In the first part, we will gradually increase the thickness of the line. In the second, we will maintain it. In the third, we will gradually fade out the line. What is that like in practice? Gently I increase the line thickness, keep it, and gradually fade it out. And so you continue making lines. a lot of lines, until you manage to draw horizontal lines, and then you can start to make vertical, diagonal, and curved lines. But the most important thing to remember, you should work very, very slowly. At first, your lines may be far from perfect, but I assure you that you will see results with practice. Your main task of this exercise is to learn how to control your hands and feel the influence of the slightest hesitation of the trigger on the thickness of the line. In the description of this video, there is a link where you can download 2 templates for this exercise. The patterns differ in complexity. In the first one, you will need to limit only the length and thickness. In the second template, the task becomes more complicated because the line thickness changes from one to another, and you will need to comply with these differences. We won't start diagonal and vertical lines just yet. At the end of this video, I want to wish everyone good luck and patience, and in the second video, you'll need much more patience because not everyone will be able to master these lines in a short time. Usually, we let our students do the next exercise on the first, second, and even third day of practice. But there are those who may continue making lines for weeks, and how long it takes you to do this depends on your hands and head, and on their coherence with each other. Practice and share your results on social media with the hashtag #ATLines. Should you find this video useful or have any thoughts or suggestions, please let us know in the comments, and we will continue posting videos according to the desires of our audience.